Well, hello, and welcome back to my shop. And we're still working on this 86 Mustang. Seems to be a never-ending project, but try to come out and get something done every night, even if it's only for a couple hours. Get as much done as you can, and you'll start running out of things to do. But as you can see, it looks a little bit different. I went up and drug my fenders down from my storage facility and threw them on quick. Because I got a 3-inch fiberglass cowl hood. I got it from a seller on eBay out of Ohio. I forget what his call sign was on eBay, but he's had some bad reviews over the years. And looking at the hood, I can see why people get upset. They think they're buying a Harwood or one of the ones from LMR or something, and you're going to be able to just paint it and throw it on. And it's not the case. I mean, it's good. It's a decent quality hood for the $340 I paid for it, and 100 and something of that was shipping. So I mean, you get what you pay for, obviously, but I knew that going in. And if you had to pay a body shop to fix the hood and put it on there, you might as well spend the extra, $400 or whatever to get a better quality hood, because you'd quickly pay that in labor. But since I'm not paying for labor, I went with a cheaper hood. I went with a 3-inch for it because the 4 is a little bit aggressive. I did it mainly for carburetor clearance. And that brings me to this guy. Got the carburetor all rebuilt. Got the intake mounted on there. The oil pan started out with just a Spectra oil pan. And normally I paint the oil pans on motors that I do anything with. I usually paint them gold. Too cheap to buy a Mylodon, but I want the look of a Mylodon. So in this case, I just figured, well, I will powder coat it and it'll just be awesome. Well, turns out it came powder coated black from the factory that made it, and it was a real pain in the ass to strip that powder coat off just so I could repowder coat it. But it came out pretty good. It's a yellow gold from prismatic powders. It's got a bit of a green tinge to it. I don't know why, but yeah, it's a top coat, so I had to use a super chrome for the base coat. But yeah, got the carburetor. It's all rebuilt. Put a new thermostat housing on there. They're dirt cheap. They've got this port right here. If you ever wanted to put a water temp gauge in, that's a good place to do it. Powder coated that bracket there black, and the timing pointer. Wrap the header. They're just some used BBK unequal length headers, and they're stainless, but they kind of looked like crap, and I could have polished them being that they're stainless, but that's a lot more effort than I want to put into it. But new water pump on there. Still trying to figure out what I want to do for harmonic balancer. I'd like to run a fluid damper or a ATI, but I'm not spending $500 on one, so I'll probably just get a stock replacement or one of the cheap Chinese SFI ones, and that'll suffice for now. But I'm waiting on a ARP hardened drive oil pump drive shaft. Ordered one going on 2.5 weeks ago. They sent me one for a 351, and should have been for 302, but it was for a 351, and I mailed it back to the eBay seller, and he's taking his sweet ass time sending me a replacement, so he can, yeah, not gonna say what I think he can do with himself, but yeah, so I'm waiting for that, and then I get that done, then I can get the oil pump. I bought a new standard volume oil pump for it, and get that on, get the oil pan bolted on. Then all I got to do is get the pilot bearing out of the crankshaft. I tried the grease trick, tried the bread trick, none of that worked, so I have to actually get a puller, get it out, get that changed, and then take the flywheel down to the local machine shop, get that ground, and motor part of it will be done, but I just got to have some place to put it. But I've been working like crazy on this engine bay. I just put another thin coat of that icing body filler on there just to fill some fine, scratches and gouges or whatever. I've been using the Evercoat Rage Ultra and the Ultra Extra, and it's pretty decent stuff as far as I can tell. I'm not a body man, I don't have a whole lot of experience, but seems to go on pretty good. seems to sand relatively easily, but yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I should have just chopped this car up and made a race car. It would have been a lot easier. But yeah, as you can see, I went with the bolt-on hood instead of the lift-off. I didn't want to have to lift the hood on and off, and you know, windstorm and it, you know, blows off the roof or something and puts a nice gouge in a quarter panel. I don't like body work enough to want to do that. I'm gonna cut the holes in the back and put some screen back there, make her extra race car. But yeah, so there's that. And then the big holdup has been these freaking rocker panels. I needed, like I said in a previous video, I needed just a short piece at the front. You can see where I cut this one thinking that it would just match up to the stock one. Well, I'm here to tell you that the replacement ones from LMR, nothing against LMR, they're a high quality piece, very good piece. However, they do not match the factory contour. So yeah, you're pretty well replacing the entire rocker. So like I say, nothing against LMR, but just know that going into it. So I'm trying to get the gap decent, and then I mutilated the bottom of the quarter trying to get the old rocker off. So I guess I'm replacing an 1.25 inch panel down there. But yeah, that's the big hold up. But hopefully this weekend I can get this one welded in, get the other one welded in, and then I'll strip the fenders and the hood and the doors back off from it. And I got a little patch right there I still have to weld in. I've got it made, but as you can see, that's a fender roller. Figure I'd try one of them cheap Chinaman fender rollers, because the rims and tires will be here tomorrow, which is Friday. I went with the 0304 Cobras in black, 17 by 9s in the front, 17 by 10s in the rear. So I'm guessing I will probably have to make a little bit of clearance. This car isn't going to be running the quad shocks because I've got that Steeda 5-link 2 set up for the back. But I stayed 4-lug. I probably could have gone to 5, but I don't know. You gotta call it quits somewhere. I mean, I've already spent way more money on this than I initially planned to, but you know, once in a lifetime, I guess. I do need to upgrade the front spindles to 87 to 93 V8 spindles. So anybody out there watching this that had a set, wanted to sell them, I would probably take them off your hands. I also ordered, so I got the shocks for the rear. I've got the springs. I went with 325-pound springs. You could run coilovers in the back, but it's not recommended unless you put a cage in, because it puts all the pressure on that top shock mount, and it's just through freaking sheet metal. It ain't really built to carry the whole weight of the car. So not running coilovers on the back. I'm just going to run 325-pound 1.25 drop springs. Then I have those adjustable lower control arms there for the back, so I can fine-tune my ride height. So hopefully those rims and tires will show up, and I'll just when I get sick of doing whatever, I will start making clearance for them. But I got the QA1 K member that should be here tomorrow, and along with the QA1 double adjustable rear shocks. So be able to you know, tune the suspension in for street driving, or if I wanted to take it to an autocross or something, I could, you know, fine tune my suspension in for that. But I'm mainly gonna take it to the drag strip. Just gonna be a street strip car, but pretty heavy on the street. So that's where we're at, and I figure with the adjustable suspension, be able to run a pair of 25 or 28-inch slicks on the back, and be able to jack it up and tuck them, whatever, and then fine tune the suspension. So yeah, that's where we're at. I haven't been shooting videos of actually doing the work, because doing the work's a big enough pain in the ass, let alone making movies. But yeah, that's where we're at. Should have the ARP drive shaft tomorrow. That should show up in the mail tomorrow, and then get the motor buttoned up, and just like a few things here and there for that. And got to get a new distributor cap. It's supposed to have an MSD on it, and had a cheap standard brand or whatever on there, but got to get that and some spark plugs, and motor be ready to go. But yeah, anyways, just figured I'd shoot a little update video, keep everybody in the loop of what's going on. The fenders that were on this car were trashed, and I got these almost in Canada, where I got these from, but got a pretty good deal on them. They're mint for what I paid for them. But so anyways, just figured, like I say, shoot a little update video of you know, what I've been doing, what I've been up to, and keep everybody in the loop. I'll start shooting some more videos as we get going on some more interesting stuff. This body work, it's kind of fun at first, but it's just not that interesting. I don't have hard enough time getting anybody to watch anything, let alone watching me sand for a 30-minute video. But anyways, as always, thanks for watching, and hit that subscribe, give me a thumbs up, throw me some comments if you something you think I could do a little better, or some advice you could give me along the way. But like I say, as always, thanks for watching.